This is an NBA free agency update alongside Mike Bresnahan. I'm Chris McGee. The NBA's free agency frenzy has begun, and the Lakers have been busy building their roster. The biggest name is a familiar one. Dwight Howard is coming back after a year in Philly. Howard was a key contributor off the bench during the Lakers' 2020 championship team. That season, he averaged over 7 points and 7 rebounds in fewer than 19 minutes per game. Dwight joins Marc Gasol in the center rotation. This will be Howard's third tour with the Los Angeles Lakers. Another former Laker is joining him. Wayne Ellington has reportedly signed a one-year deal. He fills the Lakers' need for outside shooting. Last season with the Pistons, Ellington made 42% from three. He's a career 38%er from beyond the arc. The 34-year-old Ellington played with the Lakers during the 2014-15 season. In addition to Howard and Ellington, the Lakers have agreed to a deal with Trevor Ariza, who was part of the 2009 Lakers championship team. One of the most popular Lakers will not be back. You know him, you love him. It's Alex Caruso. He's agreed to a 4-year contract with the Chicago Bulls. The deal is worth $37 million, according to reports. The Bald Eagle averaged 6 points and made 40% from three last season, but his impact goes beyond that. Third on the team and plus minus a season ago. All right, Brez, what's next for the Lakers?
Yeah, lots going on so far. The first few hours of free agency, they signed guys for veterans minimums, about $2.5 million per player. They still have that one big free agency tool. The mini mid-level, about $5.9 million towards next season. Maybe Patty Mills, maybe Danny Green. Guys will have to take a little bit of a pay cut, but could definitely help the Lakers with shooting.
All right, stay with Spectrum Sports Center for the latest during the NBA's free agency.
Course. And then I called him again, and he didn't answer again. And then he called me back.
But I told you why.
In line at the grocery store.
Yeah, I was at the grocery store, and I saw an old friend, and he and I were talking. And literally, one of the guys that works at the store that always talks to me about Lakers comes walking by, and he's like, "We're getting Westbrook," and I kind of blew him off. I was like, "No, I don't think so." I don't know. And like he just kept walking. By the way, I looked at my phone. I had 54 texts. What was going on? Allie, a missed call. I realized what happened. I had to go back to where he worked over at the pokey section and say, by the way, yes, Westbrook's
Right,
coming.
sir.
So I don't know. For me, guys, I don't know. I still think I'm a little bit in shock over it. Like it's interesting. He wasn't on my number one. He wasn't number one on my wish list. I wasn't thinking about it a lot. Actually, it was Allie and Voice of God, Be More, our producer, that kind of put it out there a couple weeks ago. We've talked about it on our podcast. But now that he's here, and I've had some time to think about it, and we've done a live show. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, man. He's a guy that gives you everything he has every single night. He's got a motor that is basically unmatched. I think James said it on our live show. He's got 2 hearts in his chest. I mean, he's going to fight until the very end. He wants to win a ring. He's back home. He's a great teammate. He's a triple-double machine. I think I'm more just curious now what's going to go around these guys. That's really the part of the puzzle that I'm more intrigued about. You have a chance to get a Hall of Famer. I mean, you do it. And I know it costs a lot of money, and I know it takes up all the cap space. I get that. But you have a guy that's an all-star every single year in a Hall of Famer, James.
Absolutely. And when you can get a player like Russell in his prime and add him to 2 other Hall of Famers, you talk about LeBron. He's a magnet. He's a magnet. People want to win, and they know that he has the formula to at least get to the finals a lot. And when you throw AD in there, and you got to get a front office some credit too, the Lakers haven't been able to just bring in these type of players like this over the last. We were struggling to get people in here. Even we had Kobe in his latter years. We got some old players, Nash, Dwight Howard with a bad back. So I think it's great that, we have superstar players that attract people like Russell Westbrook, who now wants to win. This is his window, and he's seen it with LeBron and AD. He knows how that works. He's going to bring a tremendous amount of extra dimension to this team. He does everything
for sure
on both ends. A rebounding guard that can start to break, and the Lakers want to run. I think that's a major asset. The pressure he can put on defenses by getting to the cup, pulling up for that little 10-footer, 15-footer is deadly. And I think he's in the right mindset now. He's played with, the Durant, Harden in Oklahoma, went to Houston. So he's played with future Hall of Famers, and I think he's in the right place and the right space now, especially coming in here with AD and LeBron, to know exactly what needs to be done in order to elevate this team and, get them to championship level.
James, great points. Geet, I'm kind of like you. I'm still a little stunned that this happened, okay? The Lakers' big, splashy trade was supposed to be 2 years ago with AD. You give up 3 really good young players, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, a ton of first-round picks, and you get Anthony Davis back. The cupboard was bare as far as young players and first-round draft picks. And what does Rob Pelinka pull off on draft day? He gives up 3 guys who really struggled in the playoffs or didn't even really have an impact in the playoffs, a.k.a. Montrez. A first-round pick this year, 22nd overall. And it's another big, big, splashy deal for the Lakers. And some people say, Russ, he's been on teams that have underachieved. He's been to the finals once, back in 2012, lost in 5 to Miami and LeBron. And I think he's going to be on really, really good behavior out here. Not that he's a bad guy, but he went to Lusinger for high school in Lawndale. Then he went to UCLA. He's finally coming home after 13 years in the league. I think he wants that ring. I think he's going to listen to LeBron. He's probably going to listen to AD too, even though he's several years younger. And I think we're going to see a really good, efficient, sharp Russell Westbrook. With the Sixers, will he drop down to this 5.9 or 5.8 or even lower to like a veteran's minimum, which would be about $2.5 million? A little bit of a minus. He's 34 years old. He's not young, but he could be a pretty good perimeter defender. Keep in mind, KCP gone. Schroeder not coming back, almost surely now. So you got to think of some perimeter guys who can hit some threes as well.
I mean, we love him, James. He's a Tar Heel. He was great when he was here. Lakers won a championship. 34 years old. 34. Does that concern you a little bit as he gets up there in age? Maybe battles with some injuries. Had a good year for the Sixers. We know he can hit clutch threes.
Yeah, the offense almost has to flow, exactly perfectly for him. But when you have AD out, LeBron out, he's going to have a hard time finding shots. But in the perfect situation, he still can knock them down. At 34 years old, I can't see that he's going to be looking for, more money. So he's got to be looking for places where he wants to play.
And where he fits.
He's already won.
Yep.
He's already won, 3 championships? So it's not like he's seeking. So he may be at 34 looking at some other 34-year-olds and saying, hey, I still can get 9, 10, something like that. So he's still going to be looking for, he's a smart Carolina kid, so he's going to be looking to get a little bit of change.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Give us player number 2.
Yeah, Patty Mills, savvy vet, turned 32 this past season and set a career mark for most threes per game. Hit almost 2.5 a game in a pretty relaxed system down in San Antonio. They're not a big tempo pusher. Another guy who made pretty good money last season, $13 million. Will he go down?
38% fits right where we want it.
Yeah, exactly. He's a nice shooter.
How much did he make last year?
13. So will he drop down to 6?
Patty made what?
Yeah, another guy who needs it. He'd have to take a little bit of a pay cut. Again, the Lakers don't have any money to spend. They're obviously not a cheap franchise. They just acquired a player who's going to be making $91 million over the next 2 seasons. But the salary cap rules say the most Lakers can spend on a free agent that's not their own, 5.9 or so.
Roll the next guy out.
Well, one last guy here. We got to go with another former Laker, Wayne Ellington. Remember him from a few years ago? Super nice guy.
Can still shoot it.
Yeah, can still shoot. Now, he's with Detroit last season, right around 40%. Not a very good franchise. They struggled last year. 42%. Yeah, specifically 42%. This would be a parallel move for him money-wise. Unlike Danny Green, unlike Patty Mills, he made the vets minimum last season of about 2.5. So all he has to do is say, I'm going to take that, move out west, go back to the Lakers, they'll give me vets min, and I'll just sit out there and shoot threes all day. Another guy up there in age, almost mid-30s. So 3 guys there in their 30s. Again, they're not going to be making a ton of money. The Lakers are out of free agent money, but there's 3 shooters for you right there.
Another great job, Brez. Great list. Another smart Carolina kid. He might know that 42% from 3 might get you a little more money, but maybe a chance to play with some of the greats in the game and a chance to win a ring. Big game. What do you think?
Who are you talking about?
Wayne Ellington.
I think that's the only true realistic pick of the three. I can't see the other two coming down to what, 5?
Yeah,
yeah,
5.5, 6 at most.
But you know, Wayne's a guy that, you know, he can still stick it. And if you know you got Westbrook, LeBron, and AD, that looks like he might get some legitimate shots. So yeah, I think that's a. I don't see anybody else, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm going to give you a list right now.
Give it
Look
up.
at some of the free agent shooters that the Lakers could target. Reggie Bullock. We always say former Laker on here. Patty Mills. Dougie McBuckets.
I like him.
Otto Porter. Ben McLemore just got done playing for.
He could come back
Lakers.
for the vets.
So there are some people ones to run alongside AD, and then of course AD is going to play plenty of the 5. Give me your list. We'll go one at a time.
Yeah, a couple different options here. Start with Nerlens Noel. Okay, he's my #1 option for the Lakers. You know, I said earlier a couple guys who would have to take massive pay cuts to join the Lakers. Again, the most they can offer a guy is about $6 million next season. A lot more of the contracts will be about $2.5 million next season, the veterans minimum. Our guy here, he made only $5 million last year with the Knicks. And by the way, he was second in the NBA in blocked shots. So Noel, he's not going to wow you with his 3-point shooting. He's made 2 in his entire career. That's not why they're going to get him. They're not addressing the shooting when you get a guy like Nerlens. You're addressing a guy who can score down low in the paint. He'll be there for the alley-oops, and he will defend, and he will get rebounds. A part-time starter for the Knicks last season, still second overall in block shots. You got to like that.
Do you like Brez's #1 on the list?
I do like him. I like the battle-tested, playing for Tibbs, playing in that system, that dog kind of mentality, can run the floor, length, good size. I do.
Give us another name, Brez.
Minus the 2 threes he's attempted in his career.
Yeah, that he made in his career. He's got to work on that.
That can shoot. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, actually, we have someone who can shoot.
Okay.
All right, Kelly Olynyk. I think he had a breakout season, maybe the first ever breakout for an NBA player at age 30. His post-All-Star break numbers with Houston, I know Houston, not a good team, but they were outstanding. 17 points a game, 8 rebounds a game, 36% from three-point range after the All-Star break. Lakers were a bottom 10 in three-point shooting last season, and what did they do today? They got rid of KCP and Kuzma, the guys who were 1 and 2 for them in three-pointers made. So they're pretty much starting from scratch. They were not a good three-point shooting team. They need guys to shoot, and here's a big man who can do that.
Here's my question for you. Alongside with what they have now, do you want a traditional center type of player? Would you like a stretch the floor type of center who can hit a 3?
Personally, I like a stretch.
Yeah.
I like a stretch because that's going to free everything else up. If you can bring Gobert out or some of those shot blockers out a little bit. And Olynyk he's always proven to be an intelligent player. Doesn't play outside of his box, makes good decisions, can shoot, knows how to move without the basketball. So yeah, you know, the stretch has always been, you know, we need 3-point shooters. Marc Gasol proved that when he could knock down threes, that worked for us and gave AD and even Montrez and other guys room to work inside. So yeah, give me the stretch.
I got 2 names for you guys, since we like to bring our family back home.
Sure.
DeVale or Dwight? Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, does that pique your interest at all? Do you think that's possible?
I like it. Yeah, if Nerlens is going to make more than the $5 million he just made, he's probably not going to get that from the Lakers. Why not bring one or both those guys back home? They had, you know, decent seasons with their respective teams last year. I like this list. Rashawn Holmes, he's going to make too much money.
He's going to make money. He's out.
Yeah, Cantor probably out. I do like Daniel Tice.
Yep.
He's kind of a blend of a shooter and a physical guy.
I'm with you.
I like what he did for Boston. Then he got traded to Chicago, kind of got lost in that shuffle there. But I like what he brings. Will he take, again, not a ton of money.
JaVale or Dwight interest you there, Big Game James? We had a lot of fun.
Dwight Howard is a specialist at what he does. I mean, what he did against Denver Nuggets and Jokic, when we needed someone to slow Jokic down, was like superb. Is he still doing that? Can he still do that?
I mean, if you looked at his Instagram, he's now knocking down threes.
He helped Philly.
Oh, we don't want that. The free throws. Let's start with the free throws.
He's like, I'm done with the inside.
We don't need threes. But I do like Dwight Howard. I like the reformed Dwight Howard. So if he can still do what he does, come in and muck up things and play physical and get alley-oops over the top, he's really good at that. Yeah, if he's available, that'd be pretty smart move.
When it comes down to it, you're complimenting LeBron James, Anthony Davis, now Russell Westbrook. Those two guys have done it in the past, and they've done it on a winning
His
level.
attitude
Block
has to
shots,
be,
set screens,
his
get
attitude
rebounds.
has to be right, though.
Star in your role.
All right. Lakers have started to reload with LeBron, AD, and Westbrook, but does the new big three?
It's only the beginning. I watched my name get called by myself in a ESPN Zone lobby. Keep your spirits high and your willingness to grind even higher. #underdog, #NBA draft 2021. This was awesome, guys. Cam Thomas is honoring Kobe Bryant with his NBA draft suit.
Ooh.
#big night, big fits.
Love that.
Check that out. That is awesome. Irvin Magic Johnson, Laker Nation, the blockbuster trade that's bringing Russell Westbrook to the Lakers is very, in all caps, exciting and will definitely make the Lakers a championship contender next season. He continues with Westbrook joining LeBron and AD. The Lakers now have their version of the big three. All we need now, guys, is what? Couple of shooters. And it'll be tough to beat.
It's a big man, too. Yeah.
Magic saying Russell Westbrook is the most electric player in the NBA today. And the Staples Center will be on fire next season.
He added a lot of fire emojis, too. I remember seeing
this
that.
Also, guys, about this upcoming season, the NBA says it will release its top 75 players in league history in October as it celebrates the league's 75th anniversary next season and will honor those players at the 2022 All-Star Game in Cleveland.
I like it.
That is awesome. Very special.
The game.
He's going to be on that list.
That's kind of cool.
Might be a new 75.
No, you are on that list.
I don't know. They got.
Where's that top 50
They
jacket?
did 50 and 96. Somewhere hanging out.
Was that 1996?
96. Yeah. Was it in Cleveland? In 96?
Man, that's
Somebody
crazy.
check that. I think it might have been in Cleveland.
That's pretty
I'm not
cool.
sure. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Lakers agreed to trade for Westbrook, so what does that mean for Dennis Schroeder? Are they letting him walk, Brest?
Yeah, I don't see how he comes back. I think the reality is they were looking at signing a guy for 3 years or 4 years. He obviously wanted more than $20 million a year. That's a lot. That's definitely a lot of money. So in the end, he's going to have to find somewhere else. A few teams, 8 in particular, have enough cap space to sign him for $20 million or more. Where's he going to end up? I don't know. I would be stunned if he comes back to the Lakers because they're just going to have to spend money on Caruso and THT. That's going to be their priority, not a starting point guard.
And Dennis, wants to be a free agent. He wants to go where he's needed, and he wants to get paid too,
And,
right, James?
in his mind, he felt like he had a good enough year to demand. I don't know if he'll get what he's asking for, but he'll be able to get a pretty good contract. He's had a good year, with the exception of the COVID and missing some games, and then really just not coming back like himself at the end. But
Struggled in the playoffs.
He struggled, but he can help a team, no question.
So you add Russ to the Lakers. The Western Conference just continues to be a monster. You look at what Phoenix did. You look at the Utah Jazz and the seasons they're coming off. You look at the Clippers, and I know Kawhi is hurt, but look at the run that they had after Kawhi got hurt. Still made it to the Western Conference Finals. You got the Nuggets with Murray back. You got Luka and the Mavs. You got teams rising like the Pelicans and
Golden State.
the Kings.
Can't forget that.
Golden State
Portland.
has Klay coming back.
Yeah.
Portland has Dame. So are the Lakers the favorite?
I don't know. They got to prove it. I think after a couple of months, we'll be able to see. I'm not sure I can say that they're the favorites. I mean, everybody's going to say they got Westbrook. They're definitely
maybe waiting to see what they have around it.
I think they got to wait and see. Yeah,
Okay.
We still got to fill in the blanks, some shooters, and the bigs we talked about. We lost a couple coaches. Kids gone, Lyle Hound's gone. There's a lot of things going on. So, no, I'm not giving anybody any favor. It's going to be hopefully a normal season this year, where fans are back in the arenas, where training camp will start on times, and players will get back to a little bit of normality. Hopefully, everybody will be healthy.